once again to those who just came in. And we just finished with our devotion. And thank you so much for helping in the singing. And I praise God that whatever you go through today, you will be in God's hands and in the presence of the Holy Spirit. So without taking much of your time, I'd like to introduce our speakers for this morning. This morning our speakers will be Miss Wilma Calvert and Mrs. Maxwell. And Miss Wilma Calvert is not a stranger to this place. And I know most of the students know her very well. And now I will hand over the floor to her and she will present us with the. So let's put our hands together for Miss Wilma Calvert.
Well, hello everybody. Hello, just testing. Are we ready? Technical problems. A big bullavanaka to everyone this morning. We just thank everybody for coming so far. We have people from Australia, we have people from New Zealand, we have people from Tambia, we have people from Vunival, and we're just blessed to have all our, especially our visitors first off, and our parents and our students. Many of the overseas people that have come started off as supporters of NCTC. Now they've become very, very good friends. And I know many a time I've had people ring me. I don't know how many times Richard Joseph will ring me. You mightn't talk to him for months and he'll ring up, "You all right? Had you on my heart today?" And it's usually when I'm going through a real rough time. And I think, my goodness, how did he know? And so many of the people here aren't just supporters. They are part of the NCTC team. They are part of what we're doing. NCTC has never been about one person. It's about many, many people pulling together in the same direction, like a rugby match. You know, when Sarevi was the great man that would win all the matches, it wasn't just Sarevi, it was everybody included, the person with the water bottle, the one that was there mopping up the sweat off all the players. Everybody's part of this team. So we would just like to extend a great welcome. I won't go through every name because I think later on down the track they will introduce themselves, where they're from, what part of New Zealand or Australia or wherever. Also like to acknowledge Chuck and Sue and Tia. We had started NCTC for 3 years, and then we invited these people to come along, and a lot of hard work was done by these guys, I tell you. Tia was very tiny growing up at NCTC, and we even now still call some of the poles, every time Chuck would build a house or a building, he'd put these great big poles in, which we still call Chucky poles. And so we just want to acknowledge the 5 years of very hard work that was done by the McKay family and all the other ones that will speak later on down the road. On my list, we actually have me doing the presentation, but I'll call Miss... okay, right, we'll keep going. We'll follow the list. That's an unusual event for Fiji, isn't it? So this place, can we have the slideshow up? My slideshow? Okay, this place is a miracle place. This place should not be here, but for the grace of God. And if we started to talk about... What's that? Oh, that wasn't on the list. Let me do this first, eh? Can you put the... Where's my slideshow? Okay, this is a miracle place. This should not be here. If we talked about the miracles that have happened in this place, we'll be talking for weeks. Every week is a miracle. And just one comes into mind. I remember when Chuck and Sue were on our property, we were praying for a pig pen. Someone had given us 4 pigs, you know. And we didn't want to put them in a dirty old little pen. We wanted to put them in a proper cemented pen with, you know, proper fence. So I remember saying to Chuck, how much will it cost, Chuck? So he went out, did the costing, he came back and says $1,500. And so we started to pray. And in the meantime, a business person rang up and said, can you come to my office? So I went to his office, he gave me an envelope. I knew there was money inside. So I drove down to NCTC, I handed it straight to Sue. I didn't open it. Sue said to me, hey, guess what's in here? Does anyone know what it might be? A check for how much do you think? $1,500. And I was excited about that. Then Sue said, and guess what else? I said, what else? It was written 2 weeks before we knew we needed $1,500. God has been showing off in this place. So we are very thrilled to be part of this. My name is Marion Mail from Murrabit. That's where I come from, Murrabit in Australia. And God called a bush girl, and someone's going to talk about that. God can call you to do anything He wants to. Doesn't matter on your ability, it matters on His ability and His call upon your life. When you don't have the ability, God calls people around you that have all the things that you need to get the job done. So God has done that with NCTC. Now I just want us to go to the next one. This scripture has become very much what I feel NCTC has been about. This is talking about, it says, you have built a stronghold by the songs of babes. Strength rises up with the chorus of singing children. If there's one thing NCTC has been known for, it's the singing children. The kind of praise has the power to shut Satan's mouth. Childlike worship will silence the madness of those that oppose you. And I believe as the praise of God has gone up, it's actually changed the atmosphere of this whole area. Would we go on to the next one, please? NCTC had many supporters from many places. And some of the people couldn't come today. Don Bull gave a special apology. He's got a very bad flu, bad fever, so he couldn't be here. He is one of our founding trustees, so he brings his apologies. This gentleman here is from, does anyone want to read? Where is he from? Does anyone know? England! And he is actually the first person to give money to NCTC. And he sent his greetings today, so we're just going to hear from him for a while.
NCTC in Fiji. This is Les Norman at the other end of the world in a very cooling. Well, good day to you, Marion, and to everyone there at this very special 20th anniversary celebration of NCTC in Fiji. This is Les Norman at the other end of the world in a very cool England, saying how very much my wife, Pilar, and myself would have loved to have been with you there today, but unfortunately it didn't become possible. But maybe one day. We hope so. Marion, you have often reminded me that we were the first people from far away to get excited about the plans and the purposes that the Lord had in bringing you to Fiji with that amazing vision which has now become firmly established as NCTC. Over all these years it has been such a privilege and a pleasure for us to watch the work grow in the way it has, and to see how the Lord has opened doors for you and kept you safe through storms and cyclones, and has given you his miraculous deliverances through all kinds of spiritual and natural obstacles. It's been a wonderful journey for all of us. So Marion, as I pray with you today over this anniversary celebration, I could somehow see the Lord putting some very special words into your mouth, and I wonder if you could actually say these. I hope you can. They come from Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 18. Here am I, and the children the Lord has given me. We are signs and wonders from the Lord of hosts. For me, looking on from far away, that is exactly what NCTC is. You are signs and wonders from the Lord to Fiji and the South Pacific. You're a visual signpost of the love, the mercy, the goodness, and the undeniable evidence of God's favour, plans and purposes for your land. Another version of the Bible says, we are for signs and wonders from the Lord of hosts. So not only are you people actually signs and wonders in yourselves, but I know that you are for signs and wonders from Jesus, and this is what you live for. I know that you lean on Jesus every day of your lives, and you look to him and depend upon his power to move you forward into all that he has for you to be and to do in Fiji and the South Pacific. I can't imagine that you'll ever be disappointed. So, our brothers, sisters and friends there in Fiji, from this cool, wet and windy end of God's world to where you are in the warmth of Fiji, my wife and Pilar and all the people that pray with us in our small community here, we want to say God bless you, God bless your day, and be very greatly encouraged that we here, and no doubt many people around the world, are, what shall we say, with you heart and soul, and we are for Jesus. So it's big hugs from us, every encouragement, and do have a wonderful anniversary day. Bye from England. God bless you all.
Thank you. It's very good to have people that come from other places that catch a hold of the vision. So that just gives us an idea. It's not just Fiji, it's all around the world. God has touched people to get behind what's happening here. There's 3 other people that have been very, very close to us at NCTC. One is Mama Jo. She is, some of the students from the vocational will know who she is. She came over probably for about 10 or 11 years and taught in our vocational school. When we first started NCTC in 1999, from up until about 3 years ago, we ran a vocational school. And that vocational school, we would do biblical studies in the morning, and in the afternoon, we would do a lot of practical subjects. So the people that came in to teach, like Gordon and others here, came in to do biblical studies. So 3 people that were very, very close to us and still are, Mama Jo, Rob and Jenny Davison. So they came in 2000. They were very much and still are very much part of what we're doing. So they've sent their greetings as well.
Hi everybody, Marion, Don, Sai, all of you at NCTC. I'm Jenny Davison from Ashburton in New Zealand.
I'm Jo Miller from Christchurch, New Zealand.
And we just want to wish you all the best at this anniversary. We're celebrating with you, wish we could have been there. But we first connected with NCTC in 2000. Marion, we didn't know her, but we were recommended to go and visit Marion. And out of that first visit, an amazing Kiwi connection opened up. Jo, you can just talk about what you found.
God connection, that's what it was, and has been all the way. Yes, well, I went up and visited Marion in 2000, and that's when you were with me, isn't it? So, and I continue going up there practically every year. One year I had to go a bit later, but that was still great. And I just loved you Fijian people and all at NCTC. And there were some Indians among them too, whom I love also. And that was a really highlight of my life. to be with you, and Marion has become a very special friend for all of us that have been up there from New Zealand.
So we taught sessions in the Bible school and just had a wonderful time getting to know students and seeing the campus develop. So Rob, my husband, came up a year after we first came in 2000, and so Rob and I together, we also visited almost every year. So Rob, have you come up and say some things now? Hi everybody. Marion, Don, Sai.
Hello everyone. Yes, just adding to what Jenny has said, coming to NCTC has been such a thrill for us over the years, about 10 or 11 times to come up and work with students in the vocational school and go out on the outreaches to the villages with the vocational students. And to see the school start and the development of the buildings on the site, it's just been a miracle watching that unfold. What a wonderful celebration. We hope you have a great 20th anniversary. We just bring our greetings. But I can't pass without telling one story. In the early days of teaching the students, we were meeting in one of the little churches up on the hill. I think it was Pastor James's church. And we were teaching, and then there was some terrible noise, and the building began to shake, so I thought it was an earthquake. Went outside to have a look, and there was a giant billy goat tied up underneath on a chain, shaking the building. However, lots of funny things, lots of great memories, and we just really want to bless NCTC and its future, and many fruitful years to come. God bless you all.
Wasn't that good? Our next slide. When we first started NCTC, there wasn't any buildings here. It was all jungle. There wasn't any roads here. There was nothing here but bush. And this is a couple of slides of what NCTC was. I remember taking one friend up from Australia, and I took her up top. We had to have a cane knife, cut our way through just to get up here. And she looked back, and I said, this is where we're going to build. She said, nice jungle. She was horrified. Okay. No buildings, no cleared land, no, all jungle. That's what it looked like, nothing else. And then we started to build. And 3 years after we started, these good people turned up for 5 years. They did a lot of hard work without a lot of equipment. Chuck had to, I think, get bullocks at times, all sorts of things, because we didn't have a tractor, we didn't have the good equipment that was needed to get the job done, but he worked it out. And so we started to build NCTC. We would do, in the mornings, we would do our biblical studies. In the afternoon, we would use any building we had to help train young people how to build. And when we first started NCTC, we didn't have any money at all. And our budget was zero. It hasn't changed much, but our budget was zero. So we had to work out how to do things. And I knew we had to do practical subjects. So I would sneak around all the hardware shops and look, and I would sneak around workshops. I'd say, hey mate, that 4x2 there, can I have it? Get it. Oh, I said, you're not going to use that? Oh, okay. So he'd give it to me, and then I'd go around to the hardware shops. Hey mate, you got any paint? Any paint nobody wants? Wrong colour? Or, oh yeah, I got some paint out the back. So we'd go out the back, have a look, lift up the lid of the paint, It was yellow, but not a very nice colour. Hey mate, would you mind just going and putting some more yellow in there? That colour, please. Yeah, and a couple of more squirts, thanks. And this one, blue. Okay, this colour here, boss, just put some more in that. And that's how we started. And we had paint, we had pieces of timber, we made cane trains, took lots of photos because we knew we had to have lots of photos to show people to get the thing moving. So that's how we started. And I found a couple of wood turning lathes, and I would teach the young fellas mainly and young girls how to do wood turning, how to make bowls. The only thing is, I'd never done that before. So I would, at night, work out how to do it, and the next day we would have Bible study down at Pastor James's church, or Pastor Prasad, David Prasad's church also. Then in the afternoon come to my house, because we had nowhere else to go. And I would show the boys, okay, girls, this is how you do it. Then go away. That night I'd come into my workshop and work out what the next step was. And that's how we did a lot of things. But we did it. And so a lot of these buildings you see were actually, many of our vocational students learned how to build through doing the actual task. You might notice this fella here. He's sitting over there, the second back. And he did a lot of the buildings on this property, including the two that we're sitting in today. And again, we didn't have a lot of equipment, so we had to work out what to do and how to do it. Our next one. So we did coconut extraction, building. We did a lot of planting. We made mud ovens out of 45-gallon drums. We did a lot of things that people in the villages could use on a grassroots level. And a lot of the subjects that we were doing back then in the vocational, we're now incorporating them with our primary school. So the primary students are learning to do agriculture, they're learning to do composting, many other subjects that we were doing back then. These are some of the earlier Bible students. A lot of these people are now running churches, not only in Fiji but in the Solomon Islands as well. Some went to PNG. This is soap making and beekeeping. Then in 2010 we started the primary school, and the primary school was started with just 12 students, and some of those students are now in class 10 sitting here today, so you might even recognise yourselves. Next, on the 29th of July 2016 we started our junior secondary school up to year 10. I just wanted to put this, not the best photo I might add, I couldn't find any good ones. I just wanted to acknowledge our Board of Trustees. They've worked very, very hard. Auntie Si and Uncle Don have worked extremely hard, and he, especially Don, was upset he couldn't make it today. So I just want to acknowledge them. This is behind the scenes. And next year we start our kindergarten. Won't that be fun? So I'd just like to call up Miss Wilma Culvert. She is a lady that's done a lot of work behind the scenes with a lot of personal sacrifice. Wilma Culvert was asked by our Board of Trustees to be our consultant, and she has been guiding and doing professional development to our staff members as well as helping the teachers with a lot of resources, many times having to photocopy them herself, put them in books herself. So behind the scenes, this lady is really helped us so much with the primary school. She's actually the founding principal of my home church school, which Coral Maxwell is sitting here today. She is following on in Wilma's footsteps. She is also our consultant helping us. So I'll just hand over to them for them to tell the story of NCTC from then on. I did the vocational, now they're doing the primary and secondary school.
Thanks, Mary. It's really nice to be here today. To be part of your celebrations, and what a great celebration it is. And can I say how good you're listening, students that are sitting on the floor. That's really good. We're going to have a little break, a little bit of time, but if you could just sit still for a little bit more, that'd be wonderful. Before I just start about the school, just let me say it's lovely to see lots of people that I've known over the years, and some have been good friends. And I was going to say it was lovely to see old friends, but I shouldn't say that, should I? I should say it's lovely to see friends that I've known for a long time. Is that better? That's better. Puts me in the same category anyway. Before I start, I wanted to read a letter from our pastor from Creek Street Church. It's to Marion and to all the team here at NCTC. It also includes a lot of the people that are our guests today, so please take this as a thank you and a celebration. It says to Marion and all the Northern Christian Training Centre team, congratulations on this amazing milestone, 20 incredible years of ministry, training and dedication to the Pacific Islands. We, the members of Creek Street Church, are so pleased to celebrate this amazing achievement with you, and whilst we cannot all be there to celebrate during this time, you can be assured we are thinking of you and extremely proud of your contribution to the lives of the people of the South Pacific. Students, would you just listen? Do that for me, just listen. There's some adults here that really need to hear this, and you need to hear it too, so just quietly, that's it. Firstly, we wish to acknowledge you, Marion, and your willingness to stay the course. And I think most of us would appreciate that stay the course part. The scriptures state in Hebrews, it is not how you start the race, but how you finish. That is the most important. Marion, your dedication to stay the course, led at his direction, is a testament to your strength, depth and character as a leader. This commitment and determination to see God impact the Pacific Islands has had a life-changing impact on those who have come in contact with you. And that's not just the school. Secondly, we honour and thank the staff, each of you, the administrators, I don't know the size here, and support workers of NCTC. And I would call all our visitors support people. All the friends of Marion, support people. We honour you and we thank you for contributing during this journey over the last 20 years. There are generations of children, young adults and families who have been impacted and touched by God through your dedication and sacrifice. We look forward to witnessing how God continues to impact the people of the South Pacific through your ministry and dedication in the future. We know God continues to place dreams and visions in your hearts for the future, and we'll continue to pray and believe alongside you to see a fresh move of God across the South Pacific. Again, congratulations on this milestone. Your best days are still ahead of you. Praying always, Pastor David and Louise Hickman and all the members of Creek Street Church. I'm just going to ask, I'll be back in a little minute, but I'm going to ask Lois if she might like to come up here and just talk a little bit about Marianne's early days.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. Look, it's a very great privilege to be here today to share this time with you. And again, I see a number of faces of people who I've known for many, many years. I think I first came over here about 1974. And when I look at my passport, I think I've been over here 14 or 15 times. But even before that, I'd like to share just a few brief memories about Marion with you, because I've known her since the day she was born. So that's a long time ago. And mind you, she was a very cute baby. She doesn't know that, but she was. But she grew up on a farm, as she had said, at Murrabit, which is about 100 miles north of Bendigo in Victoria, Australia. And she worked very, very hard for her father and her mother, and did all the farm duties you could ever imagine. It was a dairy farm, but it was irrigation farm, and it was hard work. She didn't come home from school and watch TV. There wasn't any there in those days, but she worked. She went out and got the cows in to milk, and changed the irrigation water, and took the tractor out to do some work in the paddocks. So she knew how to work very, very hard. And let me say, at that time, that was some of her training for the job and the work that she has done so far here. She knew what to do. She knew how to fix a motor. She knew how to look after animals. She knew how to grow crops and vegetables and all of that has come so handy here in this work. So at about the age of 16, she'd finished high school, and she went to Bendigo to work in, primarily she wanted to work in the church, and she did. And she worked with Wilma in the youth and the children's work, did a lot of work among children, and did a lot of running around and picking people up for meetings, and she still does it. But as well as that, she took on a textile mechanics apprenticeship, and she did the course and completed it, and she was the first lady person to complete a mechanics or a textile mechanics course, or to complete any course. In those days, ladies didn't really take on those jobs. But for Marion, it was the thing that really interested her the most. So she did that and was qualified. When she was just about 7 years of age, and I wonder who's 7 here. Who's 7? 7 years old. Would you put your hand up if you're 7? Anybody 7? There must be somebody 7. 7 years old? Some of you are. Well, when Marion was 7, she said to her mother, "I'm going to be a missionary, Mum." Mum said, "Oh, okay. But she knew at that age there was a call of God on her life. Later on, when she was in Bendigo, Pastor Bill Keane said to her, "Marion, I think you're going to be a missionary." Now, she had not told him her conviction at all. She had just known it in her heart. It wasn't long after that Bill and his wife came here to Fiji and became involved in helping some of the churches here. And he was backwards and forwards a few times, and then he said to Marion, "How would you like to go to Fiji and do some work in the church?" She didn't hesitate. She knew that that was her calling, and took it up and went with it. And she arrived over here. in about 1980, and could only stay short periods of time, about 6 months, because that's all you could get on a visa, tourist visa, and she'd go backwards and forwards for a while. In 1994, she received a full permit for working, living and working here. And she continued to work here. When she first came over, a good friend, Bev Mole, who some of you may have remembered, who's now gone to heaven, came with her. So, and they worked together. In the 1990s, she felt on her heart there was time to teach the Word of God to young people who are hungry for God. And I hope, young people, that in your heart you are hungry for God. Hungry to know His Word, hungry to know His truth. And you seek Him with all your heart. Marion did that. In 1999, remember the school started, the vocational school started here in 1999, but just prior to that, there was a meeting of churches in the Civic Centre here in Labassa, and a gathering together of a number of churches. And in that service, they prayed for Marion, and I think there were about 4 others. Don, who Marion has mentioned, Don Ball, Micah Renema, David Prasad, and Coco Singh. Now, those people were all the first sort of trustees or board at that time, prayed for to oversee and look after the start of the NCTC. And then the first classes, as Marion said, was started in the church, David Prasad's church, in the hall that is above the FNP building. I think it's in the main street. I was there once. And then afterwards, it moved over to James and Munju's church until the time it came here. Marion got onto some land which was available to lease, and started the process of being able to get it. Now, in the course of that, there's a lot of paperwork, an enormous lot of paperwork, a lot of applications, you name it, with the native land. And to help do this, Don used to pack his lunch, go down to their offices, sit there, and wait until he got the answers that he wanted. So any of you in Fiji probably know how difficult it is to get the things done that you want to get done. That's how Don did it. Sat there, and it eventually happened. He was there so many times that they gave him a little workspace, a little office. And a whole big office, a big area. Big aircon office. Wow. It's worth going there to get an aircon office. And he worked there and was able to get so much work done. And so all honour to Don, who continued throughout to support, get work done, paperwork done, agreements, and he kept copies of everything. So when the departments lost them, he found them. And look, one other person I would like to honour is Sai, who helped so much. And we said to Marion this morning, what did Sai do? Knowing, she said, oh, look, where can I start? She has, I don't know if she's here at the moment or not. She's doing the cooking, but someone tell her later. She really worked hard, and she was persistent. She did not give up. She contacted people and again, officers, contacted them again and again and again, until she got done what she was after. So persistence, determination to get done the things needed to go forward in this this work here. There's a lot of people who have honoured, who have helped. We're in the we can go back to some of the early days, but there's so many more people who have helped. And Marion did it because of the call of God on her life. And she faced many difficulties, many hardships, opposition, but she also had many victories and many things done. So God bless you, Marion, and may there be another 20 years at least of working for Fiji, working for the church and the young people and the school in Fiji. God bless you all.
Thanks, Lars. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the beginnings of the school and then ask Mrs. Maxwell to come up. I have to call her Mrs. Maxwell because it's the school. Do you know that we didn't really know we were going to start a school, though I had a bit of a niggle in my head and in my spirit that said, it'd be nice to do this, but then I'd already started a school in Australia and I knew it was a really big job. I thought, I don't know about this one. But you know, one day I came up here and by chance, God's chance, if you don't understand that, adults, one of God's chances, the lady who had been the permanent Secretary of Education was here. And we talked about schools. And suddenly, you know, it was right in my face. She said to Mary and myself, now if you want to start a school, you need to start it now. So we looked at each other and said, will we start a school? And I said, let me ring my pastor. I rang my pastor. He said, if you feel it, go ahead. So I said to Marion, yes. As soon as we said yes, we felt pretty good about it, although we felt pretty scared about it. And we thought, we wondered, I just want to tell you a couple of little things. We wondered where were all the things going to come for it, because we didn't have anything. Let me tell you one thing that happened. We didn't have any furniture. We didn't know where we were going to get things for you to sit on, desks, things for the teachers. And over in New Zealand and Ashburton, there was a school that was refurbishing, and they donated all their furniture to us. And thanks very much to Richard and Linda, who packed a container for us. And the best thing that I would like to thank Linda for is the fact that you had to write down everything in that container. Couldn't have done that one. And we're very grateful because, you know, a big shipping container came across the sea and finally to Savasava, and then Marion had to find a big semi-trailer to put this great big container on, which you'll see up on the property. Put your hand up if you've seen a big shipping container up here on the property. That's one of them. She got it on a big semi-trailer and it came right the way around from Savasava, and inside were desks and chairs and all sorts of things. And we were very grateful for that. Do you remember doing it? You probably would have all walked that, wouldn't you? So that was one thing that happened. The other thing that happened was as soon as we knew we were going to build a school, Marion came in here, and this part was built for the vocational, and the vocational students were in here, and they made a list of what we needed. They began to pray and gradually tick off the list of all the things that we needed. One of the funny things was a phone call from Richard. Your phone calls are, I think, notable. Richard rang up and said, do you want to buy bulk doors? want some bifold doors. You know the doors that separate these two classes? I said, yes, please. She said, there's an old hall being pulled down. There's some bifold doors. Do you want them? So I put them in the container. Across they came, and you know they fitted exactly. They were the exact size, except for taking a bit off the height, a little bit off the bottom. Pretty amazing. Yes. And so all sorts of things happened as we began to start our school, and I wondered if we could just put up a couple of slides here. We started in 2010, so we are in our 10th year now. I'll get Coral up. I just wanted to say there's a couple of slides there on Jacqueline and Coral. So,
thank you, Wilma. Well, good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. I feel so privileged to be here. I'll be back again in a couple of weeks, so I'm very, very blessed to be enjoying Fiji a couple of times this year, but it's great to see everyone. I just want to show you a couple of photos of things that have happened, because our school is in Creek Street, a sister school to NCTC, and so we get to enjoy coming over a couple of each year, and we've done that since the school started. So it's been quite a long connection to NCTC. We've known Marion longer than that, but that's fine. So this is just a photo up here of one of the first group photos that we took, and I noticed that it had some vocational people in this photo and some of our students that have come over, some of our teachers. There have been some other teachers as well that have come quite regularly and have got to know everybody here really well. So as part of this experience of coming over, you know, for our students it's actually life-changing when they come over here and see Fiji, and they come over to serve, but you know they go back with more than what they bring, I believe. It really is a great connection for them and really, really life-changing. Some of our young people have been over more than once, and one's even been over 3 times. So the rule is, if you've been over once, you can come again whenever you like when you grow up. So I'm sure there'll be some people you'll see again over the years. We've seen a lot of changes in NCTC over that time, and of course today we're celebrating 10 years, so congratulations to everybody for the great work that you've done here over 10 years. This photo here, the teachers will enjoy this one. We come over and we spend some time with the staff as well, and we usually just come and share something that we've been doing as a staff at Creek Street. So we just transfer it over to here and talk about that, and that's been a good time that we enjoy together. We also do some fundraising to bring over some equipment and things. The more people that come over, the more suitcases we have to fill up, so that's really great. And we just recently had a barbecue. It was an election in Australia recently, and so we had all of those lovely people coming to vote by sausages, and they are going to help pay for some tiles to go on the floor of your classrooms very shortly. So we also have an Island Day coming up, so we had our own logo, and we learned some Fijian from a Fijian friend in Bendigo, have a lot of fun, but getting ready to come. Some of you will remember this. I can hear that you remember this day last year. Our project last year was to get the library organised, so we brought over some books, and I know there have been lots added to that since then, to get that ready, and that was the day that we officially opened, I guess, the library, and we had fun that day. We'll have our librarian, who is Miss McKinnon's mum, come with us this year, and she'll be able to check the library over again and help there some more. This is one of the classrooms, so usually we come over and we help in the rooms and bring over some school supplies. So we also enjoy going swimming. So we go to the beach, Karawatu, and that's a photo that's a really memorable one of everybody that was there on the day sitting out on that log in the water. But we have fun teaching swimming. Have a great day. We also have some fun when we come over and do chapel, and there's some fun characters in there from last year, I think you remember. And we're hoping that one of those professors will be back with us, Professor Dusseldorf. I think he may make another appearance in a couple of weeks. We'll see. So we go from winter back at home. So we have our groups get ready in the cold, and then they come over here to the warm, and that's a big difference for us. But could you imagine wearing all of that clothes here? Oh, those clothes here. I can't. So yeah, we come over and enjoy there, do a few things here, and then have a little rest and head home. But the photo that Wilma was talking about before, oh, I forgot, the annual volleyball competition. We always do that. Now, we will come back for our third attempt, Master Apelli, but you know that our skills are not near the same as the Fijian skills. We have had 2 competitions, and I think our best is that we won 1 game. We did. But there is a trophy, so it's a big deal. We'll continue with that. Okay. So, looking back over time, there's Miss McKinnon, who started as the first teacher here, and that's her with some of the Class 1 students last year, Class 2 this year, and they're holding a card that our Year 1s at home wrote for them. Our classes at home have all of these lovely photos up in there, these young people's photos up in their classroom, and they pray for them each day. So they love to do that, and they'll send some messages over. And I would like to say that one of our Year 10s coming over this year, Lucy, is coming over particularly to see Crystal, because she's been writing to Crystal every year since they were both very little, and she gets to come over and actually meet Crystal this year. So there's Miss McKinnon. That's last year's graduating class, and there she is with all of the little people that are not so little anymore graduating. So the same class that she had when she was over here, those young people are in that photo with her. So look, it is a great privilege to be here today. At our school, we say that we like to help our students discover all God made them to be, and that's exactly what we're doing here as well. At NCTC school, we're helping all of you young people discover all God wants you to be. And I know, Marion, over all these years, lots of seeds have been sown from not only you, but all of these visitors into the lives of these young people, and only God knows where those seeds are going to come to fruit. And some of them are now already. So thank you so much for letting me speak today. And yeah, it's great to be here to celebrate with you.
Thank you very much for the lovely presentation from the 3 ladies from Australia. And there you go, on the vocational side, the primary and the secondary side, from Miss Wilma, Miss Lois, and Mrs. Maxwell. So let's all give a big hand to them. Now for morning tea, we'll be going for morning tea. While we're on morning tea, I will need all the NCTC students. We're going to move with the teachers, and we're going to prepare for our items that's going to come up straight after morning tea. So all NCTC students, you need to follow Mrs. Dungu and prepare yourselves for your item. I think on the other side of the room of the school, right there in 1 and 2, so you're going to prepare yourselves. So while the parents will be having up there in the hall, we'll be having morning tea up there in the hall. So I would like all the students to follow Mrs. Dungu, and we're going to prepare for all our items. So morning tea for 30 minutes before we come in again for our items from our NCTC students. Bye.
Yeah, how are you?